ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य Astrology's knowledge deep as sea नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ Constellations tell their stories to thee कुंडलिनी जगाओ आत्मा जागृत करो Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है Energy flows from deep inside
Good evening, you're listening to the Astrological Tarot Report by Tony Victor. That's me. And this is my tarot report based on astrological planetary alignments of the transits that are going on right now presently as of April 14th. So this is Monday. And last time we left off, we ended up talking about both Mercury and Neptune being in Aries. And as of the 17th, they will actually be conjunct Mercury, conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. So they're going to come in a big way. We talked about paving the way for, well, not really paving so much as removing the old. We had Saturn, or Pluto moving through Capricorn, which is going to cause upheaval. And of course, Capricorn is a Saturnian influenced and ruled by Saturn sign. So with that fact, you have Pluto sweeping through, making sweeping changes, changing a lot of different things, structurally speaking, powers, that can also be related to governments of the different places of the world. So it's kind of everywhere on the physical level is experiencing a change in structure as well as political power, maybe even institutional power, whatever those institutions may be. It's going to be widespread. And then we have what's going on with Aries. And not too far behind, we have Saturn will be coming right behind all these planets here. It's going to take a while, but Saturn does move slowly. But for now, we have Mercury conjunct Neptune in Aries on, that would be Wednesday, I believe, the 17th. So with that, you have the Two of Wands is at 0 degrees of Aries. You have this split going on between people wanting to be very communicative, and then others not really wanting to communicate at all, wanting to be very quiet and silent. With Neptune influence, it sweeps over things, makes things silent, and it also makes things deeply emotional, reflecting on one's own stuff, one's own inner emotional nature. But with Neptune could be about confusion, and Neptune is going to be in Aries, and Aries is about the mind and the intellect. So there's going to be a lot of issues going on. Probably if you know anyone that's elderly, you might want to watch out for perhaps some issues with dementia going on right now during this time. That's a potential. So health-wise, mental health-wise, might want to keep a watch on your elderly. This is not doctorly advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm just looking at the cards, and this is what they are saying might be the case. So, keep an eye out for those that you love. And then also it could be time of issues with mental health in general. So if there's any problems that you have, maybe request an extra therapy session or something like that. Just be aware of your mental health and your emotional health. It can be a very trying time. Neptune is also about chaos as well as it is confusion. So things can be chaotic and it can cause us a lot of stress and cause some mental health potentially to be at risk. So. And Mercury's the mind, and as well as now Aries is too. Mercury is kind of that mental energy that flows into Aries. So it could be a lot of chaotic mental energy going on right now. But there's a split between clarity and confusion with the Two of Wands. One thing is behind you and another is in front of you. So, both considering the past and the present with the Two of Wands, what's to come and what's been before. And that's going to be a lot of things, at least in terms of the physical material world right now with the power structures going on. We've already had the Pluto move through Capricorn. And now with Neptune moving into Aries, it kind of has a similar effect in a way in some areas. It's going to also remove power structures because Aries is about power and could be a boss type figure as it's represented. Aries is represented by the Emperor, key number 4 of the tarot. Especially if you're interested in the Rider-Waite tarot. The Rider-Waite is a great system to use in conjunction with the system that I have of astrological tarot. The Rider-Waite symbolism is very appropriate for this Lost Golden Dawn system that's been put back together. I've reconstructed it. If you hadn't watched the videos previously, the system that I use works with the Golden Dawn deckhand system of astrology, so that the first three deckhands of each sign, well, there's only three deckhands in each sign, have a minor arcana representation. However, they've not been parsed out all the way for each 360 degrees. I've gone ahead and done that, and so now we have a card that represents each particular degree, and we generate a 3-card reading with a house, sign, and degree. So that's in a nutshell, and that's really all you need to know how this system came together. It's still in development. However, it does give us very accurate readings in terms of what's actually going on and what unfolds in time, and seeing the actual events as they happen. Taking catalog of that and looking back on the week before, we can do that and see how accurate they are. Usually and then the Rider-Waite also helps that, because we're looking at the symbolism of each card, and it can literally be an image, a snapshot in reality of something that happens. Like the Three of Pentacles is working together with others. I think that's actually on the list this week. But in any case, the Three Pentacles working together, building things, management, being affected by management and things like that. That is very much a Three of Pentacles type of thing. Coming to some head, you're moving forward in some direction, coming ahead together on a project, finishing things up. That's kind of the Three of Pentacles, a little bit of that. But then let's go ahead and move on to April 18th. We've kind of gone as much as I want to get into with the Mercury conjunct Neptune. It's a big conjunction. A lot will be going on with that. Like I said, the power structures will be changing with the Neptune in Aries. But that's also going to be power structures in terms of communications in general. I guess I should mention that before I move on to Sun, Trine, Moon. Mercury conjunct Neptune. So sweeping changes in technology, a complete new revolution in communication technologies. You would think that would be more of a Mercury and Aquarius type of thing, or something representing Uranus, which Uranus is also in Taurus right now. So with that being there, we're already greatly influenced by this new technology on the physical plane, which is represented by Taurus, one of the physical manifestations of that type of energy. So, but with the Mercury conjunct Neptune, you have also that additional energy being injected into the Aquarian, not the Aquarian realm, but the technological realm. Excuse me. Yeah. So Mercury has its energies and communication. So that's going to be internet. That's going to be computing technology. All those things that were going on with AI. Of course, everyone's talking about AI right now. That's just what's going on. And that's going to continue to go on, but it's going to be something new, because Neptune cleans out the old and brings in the new, and especially with the power structures in Aries. So I think without having to beat that like a dead horse anymore, we can move on to Sun, Trine, Moon, April 18th. And for that, we're going to be getting the Three of Wands in Aries at 28 degrees is where the Sun sits. Moon at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, so Aries and Sag. Both fire signs. With the 3 and 9 of Wands, you kind of have this situation where the 3 wants to get a overview of things, as does the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands in the Rider-Waite system is this guy standing there surrounded by wands. He's just waiting for something to happen. And kind of the 3 of Wands is also that way too. So it's waiting for something big to happen. We're kind of on the cusp of something here. And so at the same time, April 17th is going on with Mercury conjunct Neptune. We also have the Sun, Trine, Moon energy. It's like this anxiety. You're waiting for something to happen, and it's going to be a big thing. Mostly because this other energy is being injected into the whole of it, really, at this point in time. With Mercury conjunct Neptune and us already having cleared the way with Pluto. So that being said, I think I'm going to leave that trine there, because we don't know what it's going to be, right? We can make suppositions about these different things that are going to be happening. We can have a general idea, with technology, communication, power structures. So a lot of big things happening, but specifically, I can't say to specifics, but those are a lot of things that you should be aware of and be watchful of as we move forward in the week. So there could be some major technological announcements. I would say that that's a possibility. There's definitely been a shift in focus into cryptocurrencies in the United States as of the recent switch, as of our new president. He's been involved in that and an advocate for that. How that turns out is another story. We shall see. April 19th, Mars trine Neptune. And you have Mars at 0 degrees of Leo, giving us a 5 of Wands. So Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries and 2 of Wands. So yeah, Neptune, this watery planet and a fiery planet, there's going to be chaos and confusion, that's for sure. And the 2 of Wands, again, is representative of that, with a split and kind of like this. It can also be about schizophrenia too, having a split of the mind in a sense of the 2 of Wands. There's one side going this way, another side going that way. It can be kind of a split. And then you have Mars there. Mars is the tower, okay, in terms of the major arcana. Not necessarily a great combination of things. You already have a lot of chaos and confusion, and then we're going to throw Mars in the mix too. But it's a trine. So what does that mean? Well, the 5 of Wands wants to battle things. 5 of Wands is, in the Rider-Waite system, is the image of somebody trying to build kind of like a pentagram, but not really. With the wands, they could be building anything. We don't really know what they're building. It's just they're in the motion of building something. And either they're building or they're fighting or they're not able to finish what they're doing because they're fighting. So it could be that. But then you have the 2 of Wands. So you might have one group over to the left and one group over to the right. It could be a divisional type of situation. Okay, but it's going to be, because it's a trine, it's going to be probably to some sort of end. Mars is a creative, active force energy, and it wants to get things done. Neptune is lazy and lethargic. It doesn't want to get things done. So there's going to be a split, I think, in general, between either internally, it could very much be that I want to do something, I kind of don't because I'm feeling tired. I don't want to do it. So there's a push-pull going on. Eventually, one or the other will win out here. And then you'll have to make a decision about what it is that you're going to do. But the Mars in Leo, okay, and Neptune together in Aries, making this trine, it's going to make something easier. What is it going to be easier to do? I guess it'll be probably easier to pick a side. Not that it's going to go better because of the combination of energies, perhaps. But it isn't necessarily bad. It's making the best use of this energy is what I'm kind of seeing. And if you want to relax, hey, put an effort into that. Make a plan to do something and do it. Some sort of vacation. You could easily make it be that. Or you could make it be a creative project. Neptune is about creativity, as is Pisces. So something that enriches your soul, enriches your heart. Taps into that artistic blend of energy within you and actively pursue a project. So you could definitely make things work that way into your advantage here with this type of energy as a trine. Okay, only a couple more aspects to speak about. We have Venus sextile Uranus, and Venus is at 25 degrees of Pisces, giving us a 6 of Cups, and Uranus is 25 degrees of Taurus, 3 of Pentacles. Oh, I wanted to mention that Venus is direct, as is Mercury, so we were in this period of Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde for a longer period of time, but now we're out of both, and things are going to be moving quickly for all of us now that all the planets are direct again. So Venus at 25 degrees of Pisces with the 6 of Cups. Your 6 of Cups is looking at the past, kind of healing the past, healing old wounds. They can be affection, friendship, acts of loving kindness, giving, not necessarily even reciprocal, just so much of a generosity type of thing. And the 3 of Pentacles is working together. We spoke about this earlier. Something at work, perhaps. So it can be a generous act of giving at work, receiving something at work. And that is on the 20th. But with that kind of energy, you can also have kind of the situation where there is something that's in need of healing through a working type of environment. Maybe there's a friend in need at work that requires a healing type of situation. And the sextile can put things in motion and make things easier for you all and have better communication, just because everyone is kind of in this caring sort of emotional mood. And Uranus is the swiftness. So some sort of swift, it could be a swift thing out of the blue that happens to your benefit or to someone else's benefit, that you decide to help somebody else and they feel better about what you did for them, or vice versa. Again, April 20th, the next couple ones are April 20th here. Mercury sextile Pluto, Mercury at 3 degrees of Aries, giving us the Five of Wands. Again, that's that fighting type of energy, and it's going to be in communication with Mercury, okay? And Aries, it could be something related to who wants to be the boss. Everyone might want to be the boss with the Mercury and the Five of Wands. It could very easily be that everyone wants to make the decision. Everyone wants to be in charge. And Pluto can be about that explosive energy. It's, you know, the higher octave of Mars. And when Mars, you know, has that tower, the lightning strike in the tower card as the energy of Mars, well, Pluto is a judgment card, but it's also kind of like, you know, like a Nagasaki type of boom, so to speak. It's one of those big type of energetic releases, however you want to put it. And it can be pretty massive. And Aquarius is that world stage energy. So this is going to be okay. You know, in terms of something good, though, it's a sextile. It's a little easier, not quite as great as a trine, but it's a little bit better than not having something nice, I suppose. Right? You know, it's not a square. It's not a opposition. It's something of ease. So with this whole type of situation, of this energy, you're looking at, you know, I want to say this is definitely very much on the world stage and kind of a play for power. It's a power play. Somebody wants, this is going to be, you know, different heads of nations, disputes. It can definitely be that. But sextile, it's going to be a potential. With the Eight of Swords, you have this bound up individual, and it's not a tight situation so much as it's the view of the situation itself, because the view is obstructed. We have the image of the woman walking through the swords with the blindfold on, and she's trying to navigate this terrain. It's difficult terrain to navigate because maybe of the point of view that they have, and kind of the situation where this nation thinks one way because of their cultures and their culture, religions, whatever it is that makes up that country and those people. And then on the other side of the coin, you have something similar in another place of the world. So this is what makes it difficult. And yet it's not really a tough situation, because the Eight of Swords is something you can either walk away from or change your perspective and see that it's one's own self undoing, maybe because of a difference of opinion. Okay, so because you don't see eye to eye with somebody and they don't see eye to eye with you, doesn't mean that either one of you are incorrect. It just means you have different culture, perhaps. And there's a way to work this out. It can be worked out, and that's what I believe the sextile is. It could be kind of a repairing of a communication situation. And again, on the world stage, that's kind of like nation versus nation, and where they kind of, instead of a versus, it becomes more of they fix the type of situation. It can become that because of the sextile. Okay, again, April 20th. Now we do have a square here. Sun, Taurus, Sun at 1 degree of Taurus, giving us a Six of Pentacles, and Mars at 1 degree of Leo, giving us a Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is the victory card, and the Six of Pentacles is kind of the paycheck card. It's a paycheck, as well as it's the kind of a balance, give and take. It can be receiving government assistance. It can be kind of promotion. One person can be let go. One person can be promoted. It can be that type of situation, but it's going to be a balance of energy, and it's going to be very much on the physical plane. It can be about leadership, right? With the Six of Wands, this combination is something, a balance of situations because of a leadership. So the situation comes to balance through somebody taking charge and getting stuff done. And that's Mars and Leo for sure. It can be that Aryan energy of Mars and that solar energy of Leo. The sun is in Taurus, so it's going to be a leader on the physical plane as Taurus. And that's how this energy is going to manifest, but it's a square. So why is it a square? It might be somebody's, again, it can be with the previous energy in the week. Me. I want to be the boss. I want to be the boss. Aries type of energy. And then the Mars, so the planetary, energy coming into Leo from what we already have going on in Mars. It can definitely be power plays, and that can be the difficulty on the world stage, even your personal life and work as well. It can be that too. So be careful of the power plays and try not to get involved, because it's not necessarily the time to reap the rewards for that. It's not a time of manifestation so much as the heaviest hammer gets the last hit, is so to speak. That's kind of what we're looking at for this week. And so the bigger mallet is going to win this time around this week in general with the Mars energy. And Sun square Moon. Sun is at 1 degree of Taurus again in this conjunction. So we kind of have two squares going on at the same time. Mars is squaring the Sun. It's pretty much squaring the Moon as well, but a few minutes later at 9:35 p.m. after 9:33, where the Sun squares Mars on April 20th. And the Moon at 1 degrees of Aquarius. And again, that depends. That depends on where you are in the world. So it might not be 9:30 for you. It could be 9:30 somewhere in the world, but that's when this happens. So Sun at 1 degree of Taurus, 6 of Pentacles, and then the 6 of Swords. Yeah, and with this last aspect here, this last square, you can kind of be leaving a situation behind with the 6 of Swords. 6 of Pentacles can be a work situation. You could be leaving behind a paycheck, leaving behind government assistance. You may no longer receive that for whatever reason. Maybe you're making too much money now and you're getting off of government assistance. It could be that. It could be such a thing as with the 6 of Pentacles and 6 of Swords. So 6 of Swords, you're moving away from something, but maybe you're giving up on something too. It could be that you kind of leaving it behind because it no longer suits you. That's work, that's exchange of some sort. It can be a relationship of sorts in general. But with the Aquarius energy here and the 6 of Swords, that can be on the world stage. It can be groups of people. So it can collectively be a group of people leaving something behind. And Taurus, that is the world stage too. That's the physical material world. So it's some group of people, and they are potentially, not getting what they need in terms of resources. It can be that. So there can be expect situations on the material plane and in the news in which people are losing resources, others are getting them, but people are being left out. So it may seem unfair is what I'm seeing here. So this whole situation, you have to get little pieces as we look through these aspects, looking at the tarot cards, looking at the planets, looking at the signs. And when we see all this, it puts together a story for us after we look at these things for a little bit. And it can take time to work them out. But this can seem like some sort of unfair situation where others are noticeably left out. And that's what I think is the Sun square Moon with this Taurus Aquarius energy and the 6 of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles. So something that affects us both emotionally because our needs aren't met. And that can be Sun square Moon in general. We feel like our needs aren't being met and we aren't getting what we need. Or vice versa, we can be getting what we need, but not what we desire and what we want. And that's very much the case with the 6 of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles together here. That's what it's kind of telling us. Somebody will be left behind while others will get what they want. And we feel like they might feel like that it's being unfair to them or to you. All right. Well, with that being said, again, the planets are direct and things are moving quickly. Be on the lookout for new opportunities in general. There's going to be some positive stuff coming out of this for sure, with Mercury conjunct Neptune at the end, even though it doesn't look like it's a good thing. Once the storm clears of the chaos of the storm of Neptune, so to speak, there'll be lots of things going to be changing, and opportunity will only be opened up, of course, by such massive change. There's, change is not always great, but change does have opportunity at the end of it all. That's the light at the end of the tunnel for that. So do keep your eyes open for new opportunities that arise, even out of all this chaos, and bringing the hammer down with Mars and Pluto, and them sweeping through things, kind of smashing things up and moving it all around. But yeah, be on the lookout for next week's report, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Have a good week. Like, subscribe, comment as always, and enjoy. My name is Tony Victor, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about some of the things I've been working on and I have available now. There's a tarot deck that goes along kind of with this book here, Zohar and the Enochian Code of Knowledge. So it's a book on the Enochian system, if you're not familiar with that. That is an angelic system that was developed by John Dee and Edward Kelly during the time of Queen Elizabeth and her reign. And she relied on John Dee to be her court astrologer and give her advice on all sorts of things, including military advice and whatever else she might need. But later on in time, this system it was hidden for a time, and then it became more available to people. People are starting to really get into it now, actually, during this time. And I think it's quite a good book for people to pick up and take a look at. It gives kind of a structure to something that didn't necessarily have as much structure before. It becomes related to the Zohar and the Kabbalah. And how does it get there? Well, you need to read and check it out. But just to flip through it real quick, and you can see some of the other titles I have available there in the QR code for the store. But there's a lot of different studies that I've done on this and kind of broken it down into different sections on the Gematria, and like I said, the Kabbalah and the Zohar. There's different charts in there relating to the Tablet of Knowledge, and it's kind of one of the more obscure parts of the Enochian system. However, it definitely requires some looking into. At a certain point, you'll come across it in your readings if you read enough of the Enochian system. So yes, I've also gone ahead and figured out some Gematria for this as it relates to other forms of Gematria, and that's kind of in the back of the book there. So there's a system to look at and another chart as it corresponds to the Greek and the Hebrew. But you'll have to take a look at that and explore that on your own. But yeah, the Tablet of Knowledge, one of those more obscure things that's not really talked about in the Enochian system so much, and yet it's one of the more important things in it. At some point, it helps us open the Book of the Loga and understand that. And this here is the tarot deck that kind of goes along with that. I developed it based on the Gematria. So Aleister Crowley kind of developed his own tarot and how it corresponded with the Kabbalah and Gematria. And this is kind of one of those decks where we do the same thing, or I do the same thing, I guess. I've done the same thing. And we get some interesting artwork here. You can see this in full on the website, quicksilverastrology.com. It shows you all the cards, and you can just go ahead and look at all of them there.
Astrology's knowledge deep as sea. Nakshatra kahaniyan kehta yahan. Constellations tell their stories to thee. Kundalini jagao, Atma jagrita karo. Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise. Urja bhitar se vehti hai, energy flows from deep inside.